Bronwyn, yeah, this is the thing when we talk about getting back to basics, and
well, it means you've got to have.
I don't want to debate Nicholas with Nicholas not being here.
It means we've got to have good teachers, and is it better to have a good teacher with a larger class or a bad teacher with smaller classes?
Yeah,
because that's almost the choice we've been faced with.
Break in a second, but we're off to WA. Jody has a question for the former Speaker. Tina's here as well. Have you got one for her or gentlemen? Anyway, 1300 30 34 35. Say good day to Jody in WA, Bronwyn.
G'day, Jody.
Hi, Bronwyn. Hi, Paul. Love your show. You never miss.
Say hi to Tina too, otherwise she'll feel left out. All right, what's your question about Nancy Pelosi? Get in there.
As a former Speaker that is supposedly non-partisan, I would love to hear Bronwyn's response to Anthony Pelosi's dummy spit. If she could say anything to Nancy Pelosi after that, as a former Speaker, what would you say, Bronwyn?
I would say that her behaviour was unforgivable. I think it was really her venting her spleen about sheer frustration that she thought she dominated that chamber, but in fact Trump was dominating her chamber, and all work that she'd put in, which she didn't really want to do, about putting in the impeachment, had gone for naught, and she'd lost, and it was there in her, right in front of her, and it got too much for her.
But also, we have to say too, and thank you very much, Jody in Mandurah, do appreciate it, and g'day to everyone in WA. Look, obviously the system in the US is very different, where effectively the Speaker of the House, if they are of another party to the President, in many ways is the leader of the opposition, even though, yes, it is a role in charge of the Parliament, they are also sort of, because they're third in line to the throne as well.
But so was I.
Really? Is that the way it works in Australia?
Yeah. In Australia, in terms of protocol, I was third.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not realise that.
So it is important to remember that, yes, it is a different system, and she has more power in the sense that...
but it was her house, for want of a term. This was her stage, and he was owning it, and she had the shits.
But there is still an obligation on the Speaker in the United States to behave in a method which gives the House the opportunity to speak.
But they've had the disaster of Iowa as well.
Yeah.
So on top of Trump being magnificent, they've really...
But also, don't forget, in American politics, even more so than Australia, right, your ability to have a moment in time replayed 1,000 times in an ad, you don't need the audio. You've just got Nancy Pelosi, you hates Donald Trump's achievements on hates, and that'll become a thing, and eventually this stuff sinks in because, even though you're engaged, just like as it is in the United States, the people who watch cable news, it's only still about 10% of the population. And of course, it's, the best part of 120 million who vote.